Yo, what up, my dudes? This is the one and only Space Roach VR. Today we're going to be talking about Zero Caliber 2, which I was really excited about playing because it's supposed to be a good single-player FPS campaign in virtual reality, available right now on the Meta Horizon store. Fortunately, I got a review copy to check it out and let you know how it is before you go ahead and spend your hard-earned money on it. Now, it's worth noting in advance that I did play and record this game on the Meta Quest 3. After a brief and fairly standard feeling tutorial, the game drops you directly into the poo. There are helicopters blowing up in the background, loud noises happening everywhere, bunch of shouting, bunch of guys roll up on you in a Jeep. I mean, you really feel like you've been dropped into a war zone. And these NPCs aren't exactly easy. I played on the normal skill mode, Hardened, I believe it's called. I got absolutely destroyed by these AIs right here, not realizing how tactical I was going to have to be. But with great challenges also come great rewards. You'll find at the end of levels you end up getting a bunch of XP, you get some money to spend in your HQ, and you unlock items in the HQ on which to spend that money. I personally found the list of guns and attachments to be quite extensive, as you can pretty much mix and match any kind of loadout you want and build your dream weapons. Now, most of this stuff can be found out in the wild, like this gun I found right here is just on the ground. Other stuff can be found on the bodies of NPCs, and every once in a while, they'll actually drop you a case with a fully kitted out weapon that you just have to put together yourself. I went ahead and slapped this one together. It's embarrassing that I tried to put the buttstock on backwards, but we're not going to harp on that part right there. The whole thing was actually really cool and exciting to do, and it really did make the game more enjoyable for me. Now, most of the weapons felt really good. I enjoyed using iron sights on guns, which I typically do not in FPS games in VR, just because, well, I'm kind of a bad shot. The pump shotgun was the best feeling pump shotgun that I've ever used in a VR game, and I'm not overselling that. This was awesome. Like, I felt like I was running through a level in Doom that was just hyper-realistic for a little bit. For the most part, I really did enjoy the weapons in this game. Not just the hollow scopes and the red dot sights, which were really clean and looked nice. Honestly, the iron sights on guns were pretty nice. I felt like a lot of the longer range scopes were pretty well done too. Although I did run across a couple that I was less a fan of, like this scope right here, where you'll notice that it zooms in a lot to the point where it makes everything a little bit more grainy instead of more clear like it should be. This scope right here had this weird pop-in thing going on that I really didn't like at all and ended up removing the scope from the gun. Fortunately, you can swap these in and out as you please between one weapon and another. With all the cool pew-pew things aside, there are other things you'll have to do to advance yourself in the story. Like in this part, I had to find a key code to open this door. It was actually very obvious. It was sitting right there on a piece of paper. Not all of them are this easy though. There was another one where I looked around forever trying to find a key card to open this door before I finally realized that it was way up here. I had to climb up to it and get the key card out of this weapons case to open the door. Fortunately though, in the search for this key card, which as tedious as it may have been, led me to finding this AKM skin and mystery skins that you find throughout the game. It's pretty cool as an added bonus. Makes you want to look around levels just a little bit more. There are also moments in the game where the standard array of weapons just isn't quite enough. As you'll notice, no matter how many pump shotgun rounds I dump into this tank, it's not going to blow up. Fortunately, the game provides other means to do that stuff when you need a little bit more firepower. On this part, I had to take an RPG to blow up the tank, which wasn't particularly difficult or challenging. It was just awesome because you're blowing up a tank with an RPG in virtual reality. You'll also get to use mounted machine gun turrets for certain tasks where you're taking out planes or defending things. And every time you do something cool, Zed's your hype man in the background going, hell yeah! Hell yeah! There were a couple other areas where I felt the devs really seemed to nail it. Being able to adjust your vest vertically and horizontally is a big deal for some people. I know my wife in particular won't play certain games with tactical vests because she straight can't reach the objects. They'll be inside of her chest. She says they're not made for people with boobs, and I get it. I also felt they did a fantastic job with the cinematic cutscenes in this game. They left you in first person, but not in a way where you were being pulled around or felt like you were doing something unnatural or disorienting. It was all very much like you were there and just part of the action. At the time of this recording, I'm about 50% of the way through the main campaign, and honestly, that's enough for me to be able to give a good recommendation of yes, 100% worth buying, and I haven't even tried the multiplayer modes or the co-op stuff yet, and there's a lot of that to go through. I'm looking forward to digging into it and finishing the rest of the campaign. And if you're wanting to do the same, I've got you covered. There's a link to the game in the description to this, as well as links to my other socials. Please go ahead and drop a sub if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, my dudes, live long and prosper. This is Space Roach VR.